What the wacky cast of characters, eh guys? What's up everyone? RuppDat here, welcoming you to something a little different. This is Backyard Soccer, a game that consumed so much of my childhood, and one I have many fond memories of, and not just because I'm a huge soccer fanatic. Now, I'm sure if you have watched the reveal video I put up a little while ago, if you haven't, I will include an annotation on the screen to that, you know the story behind this whole project. This isn't a Let's Play, per se. This is basically me playing through Backyard Soccer to relive some childhood memories and kind of, I guess, give my regards to the World Cup. And I'm going to do so with a team that is very familiar to me. So, this first video is basically just going to be getting the team set up, introducing you to them, and beyond that explaining not only how this project is going to function in terms of an upload schedule, but also how this particular project will also be affecting the upload schedule for my next actual Let's Play, which has already been revealed in that same video to be South Park Stick of Truth. The reason why I'm doing that one will be revealed whenever I get the first episode for that one up. Alright, I've gone ahead and created my new little coach account, and we are here now on the Create Your Team screen, where I'm going to, of course, go with the team that is very familiar to me. The red shorts, the white shirts. We are the Mighty Boots. So many fun memories. Now, as I mentioned when I was giving my nice little story about it, the team I picked initially for the Mighty Boots so long ago, they weren't exactly in the best overall team you could possibly have in terms of player stats, but they functioned well nonetheless, and that was the whole point. So, I'm going to pick my team and explain the role each one is going to serve on my team, and why I picked them. So, first off, we're going to begin with everybody's favorite secret weapon, Pablo Sanchez. Though, he's not really much of a secret when you consider the fact that, hands down, he is the best player in every backyard sports game. And, yeah, who could say no to Pablo? Yeah, thank you for that, Pablo. Pablo's gonna function as one of my team's forwards, mostly because he has some very good offensive power. As for my other forward,
I can run pretty fast.
Pete Wheeler, everyone's favorite lovable dope. Though he doesn't have the greatest kicking stats in the world, well, and especially a lack of control, he's very fast. And for a forward, that's actually pretty valuable, in my opinion.
What am I supposed to do now?
I will tell you later, Pete. For my midfielder,
Come on, champ, pick me!
I choose Keisha Phillips, because she's relatively well-rounded, and her relatively good speed combined with her kicking power, in my opinion, makes her a good midfielder. Plus, you gotta put that big body to work somehow.
Hey, you're smart. A real stinker. I mean, thinker.
Yeah, she's also the team clown. From the defensive standpoint, my first pick there
Come on, take me next.
is Jocinda Smith. Generally, she is the most balanced player you find in the Backyard Sports series because, I mean, her namesake MVP. She's supposed to be that well-rounded player, even though her stats don't really seem to reflect it in a sense. She is the well-rounded player here, and I think she functions best as my defensive wall, one of them, and an occasional midfielder if I need someone to replace Keisha for a little while.
Alright!
Even though her defense does kind of suck, she has proven her worth on the defensive end to me before. As for my other defender,
Rock on!
I think Amir Khan fits the role pretty well, just judging off his stats, don't you? Plus, he has some pretty nice offensive power when the time calls for it, which
Groovy, baby!
can be good. And fun little fact for those of you who aren't familiar with the Backyard Sports series. There are occasionally periods of time where you will be able to get stat boosts for characters, depending on either if it's their birthday, or in the cases of some players, if they are on the same team as a sibling. Amir is one of these cases, because his brother is this dude up here, Ahmed Khan.
Dude, pick me!
And Ahmed usually serves as my goalie. He makes for a pretty good goalie, I will admit, and I can swap him and Amir out when necessary, because they can fill each other's roles pretty well. Plus, they do give each other a stat boost from being on the same team.
Rock and roll, dude!
Speaking of siblings who give each other a stat boost from being on the same team, that brings me to the two players who, for the most part, will be my subs whenever I need to send subs in. And they are also both very well-rounded characters.
Ashley and I are pretty good soccer players. You're a special person. Sydney and I are pretty good soccer players.
The Weber twins, Ashley and Sydney. I think that kind of speaks for itself. They are very well-rounded, they can fill pretty much any role I need them to for coming off the bench. And again, because they're on the same team...
You're a special person.
Why, thank you. Generally, they can function very well together. So, here is our team, the Mighty Boots, in all their glory, for 2014. For those of you who are curious, I am actually playing this on my Windows 7 computer. I found a workaround that actually allows me to manipulate a file within the program files from the original game disk in order to trick the system into letting this game play. So yes, I am playing on the computer. I'm not playing the console version that came out. Personally, I find this one to be the more superior option, even though I think critics kind of panned it and would actually praise the console version. I just find the console version too slow-paced, in my opinion. So, how exactly... Make sure my... Whoa! Hold on, let me get some rearranging done here. There we go. Simple enough. By the way, neat little tidbit when it comes to Pablo.
Hola, soy Pablo y me gusta mucho el fútbol.
Of course, anytime you click on him, he only speaks Spanish. However,
My Spanish is getting better, huh?
if you shift-click him, he will actually speak English. And I don't remember what game in the series it is, but if you do this on him, he reveals at some point in one of the games that English is actually his native language, and he's learning Spanish. Kind of interesting. But yeah, generally, formation-wise, I generally go with normal 2, which is one of the more balanced options, especially with my forwards doing serious attacking, and sticking to a 2-1-2. I will probably alternate this for some games if I feel it's necessary for a strategy change, but generally, I tend to stick with this throughout. As far as the game options I'm doing are concerned, the league play, obviously I can't change that. As far as setup is concerned, the difficulty level I'm setting to hard, because I'm looking for a challenge. And this game will probably kick my ass over it, especially since I haven't played in quite some time. Well, seriously, sat down and played it. Length of the game is going to be short to keep these videos from going on way too long whenever I am actually playing a game. The game ends in... I think we're going to do this one a little... I've done penalty kicks in the past when I did the Mighty Boots initially as a kid. But I think I'm going to be a little more realistic here and have the game end in a draw. During tournaments, obviously, this option will automatically change to penalty kicks because obviously tournament games need a winner. Shot spot, kick locator... You know what, I think I'll leave that on. I might turn it off later, but for now I think I'll leave it on. Fouls and offsides, I'm going to leave those on for a little more realistic experience. Control, I'm just going to stick with the one-button controls because it's obviously the easier option for me. Except, I think I'm going to do manual for switch defender. I haven't actually tried that option before, so I might try something with it off screen or something and see how it goes. As far as the sound is concerned, mouse button beep I'm turning off because that's going to get annoying for everyone. Everything else I think I'm actually going to leave on, except the play-by-play and color commentary are going to work like this. Obviously, before the start of each game, your commentators, Sunny Day and Earl Grey, are going to run down the game ahead, and obviously they'll provide commentary throughout the game. I'm going to let them do the opening commentary, and then before the game starts, because you will be able to adjust some of your options one last time before the game actually gets underway, I'm going to disable both of these so my commentary can be heard pretty clearly without any interference. But they will be able to at least lead us into the game. So for now, I'm going to leave that as is. Now, how exactly is this Let's Play going to work in terms of upload schedule, you ask? That's where this comes in. This is our team schedule. As you can see, it kind of goes throughout an entire month. I will go ahead and put the words on screen, just kind of manipulate this a little bit. Just to kind of give you an idea of the days I'm looking at in terms of how a week is considered in this game. But basically, here's how this is going to work. I'm going to do uploads 7 days a week. The first time I've ever attempted such a thing, which is going to be really interesting seeing how this is going to go, especially since I do have a part-time job I'm working now. I believe I've mentioned this in some of the last videos of my Pokemon Yellow LP. So it's going to be really interesting seeing how I can function around that. So my upload schedule, at least in terms of the time of day it goes up, assuming I am capable of getting an episode up that day, is probably going to be a little erratic. Anyway, as far as what's being uploaded when, on any day you see a game scheduled here, on that day, you can consider that a day where I will be uploading an episode for Backyard Soccer, Rise of the Mighty Boots, this particular series. Because of the fact... Okay, this schedule is kind of a little iffy for me, just because if I'm basically starting this off in terms of a new month, okay. I'll figure out the specifics later. But it looks to me like I think I'm going to consider that August 31st, technically if we're going by a full month's schedule, is going to be our first game against the Hornets. Generally, all these generic teams, they kind of are randomized in terms of team colors and what their prefix is. But once we get out of the B division, when we get into the higher divisions, those will become a little more established because they're in-game teams, and things will become a little more clear. I generally know most of those off the top of my head. So, as I was saying, on days where it looks like we have a game scheduled, I will be uploading one episode for this series, and that one episode will basically just be whatever game is on that day. It's just going to be one game per episode. I know it seems kind of slow, but it gives it a more realistic feel, in my opinion. On days where I don't have any games scheduled, all the blank spaces, those are days that I am going to attempt, because that might be a little more editing intensive now that I think about it, as opposed to this series. I'm going to be attempting to upload episodes of the Stick of Truth Let's Play. That's why I said the Stick of Truth series upload schedule was dependent on this one, because this schedule is going to look a little different every month once we advance through divisions or get into a new season, etc. So, the Stick of Truth upload schedule will be done according to days I do not have any games scheduled. Which, honestly, I might as well also say this. I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to start Stick of Truth, because I don't know if you guys noticed during the reveal video, but the video quality on the Stick of Truth portion was a little poor. And that is honestly the first time I've ever run into an issue where my Dazzle seems to have some sort of quality problem with a game I'm trying to record. This game is an exception because I'm using Camtasia for it, because it is on the computer. I actually wonder if I could use Fraps instead. Nah, I'll stick with Camtasia. But anyway, I am considering ordering a new capture card, a more high quality one. I'm mostly considering the Elgato, to be able to have a better quality capture card available for when I need it. Which is pretty much I think that's actually gonna become my main capture card as opposed to my Dazzle, which I think is kind of on its last legs as it is. That thing has survived through a lot, and I think giving it a rest would help it. But because, well, at least when I'm recording this video, I'm not gonna be able to order my Elgato until sometime over this upcoming weekend, which is also the weekend where the Pokemon Yellow LP should be having its finale uploaded, so that gives you an idea of when I'm recording this, because I don't get paid till tomorrow. I'm probably gonna find a way to place an order for an Elgato, and depending on when it arrives, I'll see if I can basically get the first episode of Stick of Truth uploaded on what's looking like September 1st, if I'm going to be sticking to the schedule according to the real schedule of a calendar. Wow, I'm sounding quite pathetic right now. I kind of need to stop this. So, yeah, that's how this is going to work. I'm going to keep you guys updated on the Stick of Truth situation, because I'm going to wait and see on the Elgato, of course, to see when it's going to get here, to be able to start recording with that, to try and get, because basically my plan is, especially with me working now, to try and get a bunch of this stuff pre-recorded and edited and everything well in advance, so hopefully I will not run into any problems. Because Pokemon Yellow, even without a job being worked, was plagued with all sorts of schedule problems. But our team is set, our schedule has been revealed, and it's almost time for us to begin. So the next time I see you guys for this series, it will be on August 31st for our very first game, an away game with the Hornets. We'll find out more about them when we actually get started playing, of course. So, thank you guys for watching. I have been RuppDat. I really hope you guys enjoy this series. I'm going to attempt to try and make this a fun little series. See how things go. And I will see you guys next time. Take care.